Evening, everyone. At this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Today is Thursday, November 13th, 2025, and this is a meeting of the Rent Stabilization Commission for the City of West Hollywood. We would like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather, currently known as the City of West Hollywood, is the occupied, unceded, seized territory of the Gabrielino Tongva and Gabrielino Quiche peoples. We have one procedural matter to take care of before we even get to the Pledge of Allegiance tonight, and that is a request for a remote appearance. And I'm going to turn this over to Commission Counsel Kellen Martz to lead us through this process.
Great, thank you. Good evening, Chair and Commission. The city adopted a policy for the use of AB 2449, codified as AB 2302. Under the city's policy, a commissioner on a quasi-judicial commission, such as the Rent Stabilization Commission, may request to participate via teleconference in limited circumstances. Commissioner Kirpies has requested a teleconference tonight under the emergency circumstance provision of the policy and the law, which allows a commissioner to teleconference in the event of a physical or family medical emergency. The city meets the obligations under the Brown Act to allow for the use of AB 2449 as outlined in this policy. Commissioner Kirpies has made this request due to a family medical emergency. Commissioner Kirpies, can you just confirm that that is correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Thank you. Commissioner Kirpies will be on camera and audio throughout the commission meeting. If there is a disruption in the broadcast, the chair will notify the commission and the public, and a recess will be taken until the tech issue is resolved. All votes tonight must be taken by roll call. The broadcast is going to look a little bit different tonight because of Commissioner Kirpies' attendance via remote appearance. He must remain visible throughout the proceedings via Zoom. And then a few more procedural questions, Commissioner Kirpies. Are there any individuals over the age of 18 in the room with you?
Not in the room, but in the household is my mother and stepfather.
Great, thank you. And then Commissioner Kirpies, you must keep your video on at all times. If you need to take a break or step away for any reason, please inform me and or the chair, and we will take a recess for that need. We may now proceed with a motion to consider Commissioner Kirpies' request to participate via teleconference for this evening's meeting. Back to you, Chair.
Is there a motion to consider the request?
So move.
And a second?
Oh, second.
Okay, a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Bass?
Aye.
Commissioner Copeland?
Aye.
Commissioner Kirpies?
You have to abstain, probably.
Commissioner McCafferty?
Aye.
Commissioner Topchin?
Aye.
Vice Chair Goldman?
Aye.
Chair Rory?
Aye. All right, so I think that passes. We can now do the Pledge of Allegiance. If you are able to, please stand, rise, face the flag, and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And may we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Bass?
Here.
Commissioner Copeland?
Here.
Commissioner Kirpies?
Here.
Commissioner McCafferty?
Here.
Commissioner Topchin?
Here.
Vice Chair Goldman?
Here.
Chair Rory?
Here. All right, so we have a full vote tonight, and we're going to move on to the approval of the agenda. Tonight we have one appeal, and we have 2 items of new business and a small unfinished business.
Move the agenda.
Moved. Second. All right. We'll do roll call consistent with the protocol tonight.
Commissioner Bass?
Aye.
Commissioner Copeland?
Aye.
Commissioner Kirpies?
Aye.
Commissioner McCafferty?
Aye.
Commissioner Topchin?
Aye.
Vice Chair Goldman?
Aye.
Chair Rory?
Aye. All right, that passes as well. Same process for the minutes from our last meeting, which was October 23rd, 2025.
I'll move as presented.
I'll second.
All right, motion and a second. Can we have a roll call on that?
Commissioner Bass?
Aye.
Commissioner Copeland,
Aye.
Commissioner Kerpes,
Aye.
Commissioner McCafferty,
Abstain, I wasn't there.
Commissioner Topchin,
Aye.
Vice Chair Goldman,
Aye.
and Chair Rory.
Aye. All right, so that passes, noting the abstention, and we can move on to public comment. Do we have any public speakers for this portion?
Not at this time.
Okay, great. Now we can do the manager's report. Ms. Aviles, would you lead us away?
Good evening, honorable commissioners. Gloria Aviles, acting rent stabilization manager. For today's look-ahead calendar, tonight we will be hearing the appeal for D case 4987 CD1. There will be discussions regarding the 2026 Sacramento Legislative Action Day for appointed officials, 2026 Rent Stabilization Commission meeting dates, and an update of what the Evaluation Guidelines Ad Hoc Committee has been doing so far. We are most likely canceling our December 11th meeting, which we will be speaking about it later on. And then on our January 8th meeting, we will most likely be hearing the D4930 remand and the DIH 7553. And our January 22nd meeting, we will be hearing D case 5040 appeal. Thank you.
Thank you for the report. Are there any questions from commissioners?
I'm just wondering what DIH means. That's the first time I've seen that one.
Echo.
It stands for Department Initiated Hearing.
Okay, thank you.
Could I follow up on that? Just so that wasn't a request of a landlord or a tenant, but the department itself initiated that hearing. That's what that means for the public.
Right. When a department initiated hearing means the division requested a hearing to clarify issues that may have been brought forward by either the landlord or the tenant.
Great. I appreciate learning that as well. Now we can move on to any other questions? No? We can move on to the appeal portion. We have one appeal before the commission tonight, and that's D-4987 CD1. CD standing for compliance determination. And do we have a representative from the landlord this evening?
We do.
Okay.
Sean Sadkin is
Okay,
here.
and we have representatives from the tenant, and this is, I believe folks were here before, so the appeal starts with the landlord this evening, and they'll have an opportunity to come forward. You can start to come forward now, that'd be great. And you're gonna have 5 minutes since you're the appellant, and you get to break up your time, but the tenant, you just have 1 5-minute block to speak. And so whatever you don't use in your first portion just automatically goes to your second, and if you use it all up in your first portion, that's it. But yeah, you get to, that's the process. We're gonna hear first from the legal counsel, and then you'll get to begin. I apologize.
No problem.
If you want to sit, you can, or you can stand there as
No,
well.
it's fine.
I called you up early.
It's fine.
I forgot about legal counsel. They have to give us a report first.
No problem.
All right, thank you.
Chair, you're forgiven. Good evening, everyone. My name is Kellen Martz, legal counsel of the Rent Stabilization Commission. As the chair said, this is Appeal D-4987 CD1 related to a compliance determination request from the landlord. The tenants have lived in the property since 2015. The property is located at 1125 North Vista Street. Tenants filed for a rent decrease application in 2024, and the issues before you tonight are related to the patio space. There was a rent reduction for the garage storage area and the patio space, and in this case, the patio space also encompasses parking. A hearing was conducted in January of 2025. Both parties appeared and offered testimony. This matter did come before you once before, I believe, so you may be familiar with this matter. In the compliance determination request, the landlord has stated that they returned the patio space to the tenants and filed for the rent to be returned on that matter. The hearing examiner reviewed that request and found that the patio space had not been returned. And Part of that was through photos that were submitted by the tenant showing that there were vehicles still in the patio space. If you remember from the prior case, looking at this, the patio space is kind of their parking area right outside of their home. And the landlord has filed an appeal of that matter. And the question before you is there substantial evidence in the record reasonably supporting the hearing examiner's compliance determination that the owner had not substantially complied as to the patio/parking area? Staff believes that the hearing examiner's compliance determination was correct and recommends affirming on that decision. And I'm available for any questions.
Go ahead, Commissioner Topchin.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, Mr. Martz.
Good evening.
So just want to, I would like to confirm or clarify. So the previously, the commission decision was that there was a reduction for the garage storage and $253 and patio service is $75. So the garage has nothing to do with the patio, is it correct?
That is correct. And it's also not on the appeal tonight. So the garage is a separate building space, and then there's the patio/parking area, which is outdoors.
Okay, so at the time when the commission heard that case, did patio space include parking? Was it patio/parking, or
Yes. Yeah, there was questions and debates, and in the resolution and the vote, it was determined that patio included parking. So it wasn't a third separate line item, it's inclusive of.
Okay, because in the on page 17, when I read the commission's findings and the mentioning under A and B, the B only states patio space 75 rent reduction, but I didn't see whether there is confirmation or clarification that included also a parking space. I just wanted to know, or this is something new that we have to hear based on the recent
No,
hearing?
so in the prior appeal and in the resolution, it was a discussion whether it was a separate item or inclusive, and so the commission voted that it's a combined, since it's all one space, they park and patio is all one, and so it was inclusive of, and it's in the resolution on the third page of the resolution.
That's great. Thanks for clarifying that. And the
Sure.
follow-up to that, on page 19, last paragraph, I think the third sentence. So when it says the commission found that the patio and parking were space, sorry, new glasses, I cannot really see well. And parking spaces were one issue, and so the 75 rent reduction for the patio also include the ability to park on the patio. So in order for the landlord to comply, what the landlord needs to do, needs to provide a patio and also ability to park on the same spot?
That's correct, and so the tenants in their rebuttal have said that other cars being there prevents them from being able to use their patio space and their parking space.
So what if the tenant parks their car? Then the patio space is not available. So the tenant argument will be that, I mean, what I'm saying is I don't really see ever compliance in this case if we combine patio and / parking. I don't know how.
It's big enough for both.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what others have to say. Thank you, Mr. Mars. Thank you.
I had a follow-up because I had similar questions, and I appreciate Commissioner Topchin clarifying, especially for the landlord. We're not talking about the garage or any of the other issues of the property tonight. This is really focused narrowly on the parking patio. But that was something that we previously determined could be used as like a dual purpose. Is there, for the compliance determination request, this was just unclear to me in reading the record. Is there a suggestion that the landlord has to put furniture back into the space so that it can be used as a patio? Or is that just the tenant's own prerogative to supply their own furniture? And if the tenant wants to park their car where otherwise furniture would be, that's the tenant's prerogative as well. But we're not reviewing, and the hearing examiner wasn't looking at saying somehow patio furniture or a patio had to be restored. It just could be used as a patio or as a parking, and it was allegedly having other parkers there.
That is correct. We're not looking that deeply at the nuances of this. So the procedural way it works is the hearing examiner makes their findings, and so we always have to go back to the original decision. This one had a clarification in our resolution that it is also available to be used as parking, and so it's not, and that was more so we didn't add a third rent reduction amount. It was inclusive of, but the original hearing decision says restore full prior access to the patio. So that is what is required to be done. And the hearing examiner found that had not been done,
Right.
and then staff agrees with that.
And I have one follow-up. For the evidence that was submitted for the compliance determination that's pending for tonight, it's my understanding from the record it was just one picture or one photograph and the on behalf of the landlord, and the hearing officer couldn't decide from that one picture whether compliance had actually been restored. The tenant had also provided other objections and as part of the process. But is that generally correct? It was just one photo? Okay.
Yes.
And do you have the page number for that one photo? And I apologize because I had it flagged and then my Adobe crashed tonight, so I'm working off of paper. And as we look for that one, I guess, is it 123 of 181? Right, 122 and 123 is the extent of the request and the evidence for the request. I think, is that right? Okay. And this, what I wanted to clarify, this is, and then I know Vice Chair has a question. This compliance was submitted on 7/31, 2025, so over the summer. So is it a correct understanding that in deciding whether there's compliance as of this date, the hearing examiner has to decide whether as of this date, can the hearing examiner consider pictures before this date of it being blocked? Or does the hearing examiner have to say, as of this date, do I see evidence that is being blocked, and then make the decision based on that? Can they look at everything, all the previous photos?
They can look at previous things too.
Okay. And then Vice Chair, I don't know if you still had a question, I apologize.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to clarify, so what it sounds like is we're talking about access to the space, not necessarily furniture or anything else.
That is correct, and I would recommend that you ask who owned the furniture. I believe it was the tenants, and they were told to remove it. So it's not, in some other cases, something has been taken away, landlord provided pool chairs or something like that. I don't think that's the case, but I would ask that. But my view of it is just the access itself, because that's what the underlying decision required. So that's what's looked at in a compliance determination. Have they complied with what the first order directed them to do or restore?
Okay, and then my other question is, so if another car that is not the tenant's car is parked there, then that would be considered, maybe they're not having that access. Was that correct interpretation, or not necessarily?
That's what you're paid the big bucks here to find out, but that is how staff has recommended it and looked at it, is that the hearing examiner found that potentially there were cars parked there or being able to use that space in some capacity. The requirement to get the rent restored was restore full access. Cars being there even, a day or two doesn't really meet the definition of full access. And so that's how the hearing examiner found it in the compliance determination, and staff concurs with that opinion.
That's helpful, thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Copeland, I see you.
No, she sort of touched on what I wanted to ask. So just to get down to the basics, we're talking more about exclusivity and exclusive access, exclusive use, as opposed to just being able to access something.
That is correct.
It's for the
there was-
exclusive use of that tenant, and that was the issue.
There was a patio space / parking slab that was available to be used by the tenants. It was taken away. It has to be
Exclusive
given
access
back.
is what we're dealing with.
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you, that was it, thank you.
That's a good point, it's exclusivity. So that's like to think about as you give your presentation. Any other comments on this side? Okay, so thank you, sir, for
Sure,
waiting
no
patiently.
problem, no
You can go
problem.
ahead and start. You get 5 minutes. Whatever you don't use will be
Sure,
for
we're only
rebuttal.
talking about the patio space, right?
We're only talking about the patio space, correct?
I'll make it short and brief. I mean, I'm okay with the reduction, okay? They had patio space and where people park their cars. And I have photos from today where they still put some things there and other people want to park their cars. And I accepted the reduction, and I still do. So if you're getting, you're getting the rent reduced.
You're
then-
here on a compliance determination request, though, sir. You filed paperwork with the city to say you want the reduction for the parking space to be revisited or reviewed. Are you saying now you're okay with there being
I
a
accept
reduction?
it. No, I accept it.
Okay, so I view this as a withdrawal of the compliance determination request. I mean,
Yes, if that's the landlord unequivocally says they are fine with the rent being reduced on that matter, then you can withdraw it.
I mean, we parking our cars there once in a while. So I have access to the space, and this is a parking space, and they never had a car, they never had anything on the lease that states that this comes with parking, so I understand, you guys made your decision. I have to respect it, right?
you don't have to. You have an appeal process which you started, but if you don't want to continue it,
I mean,
yeah, that's your decision.
I just want to show you a picture. Even though I'm paying a rent reduction, if you don't mind, they still put stuff there.
Yeah.
And it's not fair,
Well, sir, what we can only really measure right now is what happened as of July 31st, 2025. So what happened today is not really what we can look at. But you get to decide whether you want to continue with this or not. And you have an option as a landlord to accept the rent reduction, and that's part of the process.
I want access to my property, so I'll accept the reduction.
Okay.
Yes.
That's your prerogative, sir, and you seem to be making that voluntarily,
Okay.
and you're okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, well then, I think this one's odd, but I'm gonna, at this point, I don't know that there's a need for the tenant to come forward.
No,
I don't think so. You've withdrawn your compliance request and appeal.
This is just a patio, right?
just
Yeah,
the patio.
and this is just about the patio
That's correct.
tonight.
That's fine.
All right.
And the use of the space, and what they're saying is you can pay the rent reduction, and that's your prerogative if you want to do that.
It doesn't, it's fine. I haven't seen any rent, but okay, no problem.
Okay.
That's fine.
Chair, patio inclusive and the parking inclusive, right? That's what I'm
Correct.
talking about, yeah.
It's the whole patio space and how it gets used, whether it's used as a patio or whether it gets used as a parking space. And the landlord's saying that they'll accept the rent reduction and be able to use the space as the landlord sees fit.
Right, I just wanted for the landlord to realize that we're talking about patio / parking.
They have a patio space in the side. They also have their furniture, so I was shocked. This is a parking space. You have multiple benches on the side of the building.
Okay.
And if you have questions about the process, you can call the Rent Stabilization Division, and we can, procedurally explain things after
Right.
tonight.
Well, let's do that because let's make sure you're going to be withdrawing tonight. So what I want to understand too also is there's a statutory period for seeking another compliance determination. If the landlord decides he wants to change his mind and in the future grant access to the patio area and the parking area for the tenant's exclusive use, and he wants to have the rent reduction revisited, that would be his prerogative. What's the timeline for him to be able to do that? Is it a 6 month after?
There's no time.
No time. Okay.
No, because if we tell them, no, you didn't restore it, they can go out and restore anything tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
and give
okay,
it
so
back.
there is no, so you can change your mind on this at any point if you want to come back and give the tenant exclusive use to the patio to have furniture and park. If you want to restart the process, you can. Otherwise, you can withdraw it tonight, which I understand is what you want to do.
That's fine.
Okay. All right. So with that, we are going to conclude the appeal portion. And there is no more appeal, effectively. It's
No, sorry, Chair.
there's going to be, here's the reality. It's his appeal, so you'll have another opportunity to come back later. It's his appeal. He can decide what he wants to do with that.
We're going to have to move on from this. The appeal's been withdrawn.
There is a
Procedurally,
public
we have
comment period later in the evening if you'd like to, but I'm sorry, this is not your decision. It's the landlord's decision for this evening.
Because there is confusion between the patio and the parking too, actually.
Okay, well, it's both for our purposes, so.
I gave plenty of evidence.
Chair, we've got to.
I know.
Yeah.
Just give her a chance.
Legally, we can't. This is not.
It's fine. It's
Yeah,
fine. All
workable.
right, sir. So you can sit down. Your appeal has been withdrawn. It's been deemed withdrawn.
Thank you.
Compliance determination requesting your appeal.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
And what we're going to say is if you have, either party has any further questions, you can reach out to the Rent Stabilization Division at 323-848-6450 by email at rsd@weho.org, or you may request an in-person appointment online at weho.org under the services menu. Now we're going to move on to the new business portion of our agenda. And we have the first item, which is 9A. It's the 2026 Sacramento Legislative Action Day for appointed officials. And we're going to have a report from staff.
Hi, good evening. Since its founding, the City of West Hollywood has been committed to advancing progressive policies that reflects its core values, promoting equality, compassion, and inclusion. Through the work of lobbyists and partnerships with state and national organizations, the city has advocated on issues such as LGBTQ+ rights, HIV/AIDS services, reproductive freedom, disability inclusion, senior support, and immigrant assistance. The city currently has 16 advisory boards and commissions that provide policy recommendations and occasionally advise the City Council on legislative matters. In 2024, West Hollywood hosted its first Sacramento Legislative Action Day, where city officials and board delegates met with legislators to advocate for city priorities. The event was well received, and additional interest has since been expressed. This item directs each board and commission to appoint one delegate to attend the second Sacramento Legislative Action Day for appointed officials, tentatively scheduled for February 5th, 2026, and to also appoint one alternate in case the delegate becomes unavailable. Only one delegate from each commission or advisory board may attend. The event will provide an opportunity for appointed officials to travel to Sacramento with city staff, engage with legislators and their staff, and discuss topics and policies relevant to the city's diverse constituencies. The trip will align with the 2026 legislative session, and depending on the legislation under consideration at that time, participants may advocate for specific bills or address broader topics of importance to the city. Okay.
So we'll open it up for questions at this point. I had a quick question. So first question was, are all 17 or however many commission and advisory boards going through this process?
Yes.
And that's the contingent that's going. That's awesome. And that last part, I just wanted to make sure I understood you right. Is it a city-approved agenda that the representatives are pursuing, or can they pursue something that they're personally interested in? That last part you said that the representatives can.
Yeah, so whatever topics and policies that are relevant to the city's diverse constituency that is being under consideration at the time that the delegates visit, then those would be things that the participants may advocate for specific bills.
Got it. Got it. Okay. All right, so that is the agenda item for tonight. So I'm going to look at my script, but I think we're going to select who our designee is. And Commissioner Kerpes, I was going to suggest maybe you have a thought on this one and give you the floor if you wanted to potentially nominate yourself or someone.
Thank you, Chair. No, I wasn't going to nominate myself, but I did have a question, I think, kind of along the same lines your question was. I think I know that we are probably limited. Whoever the representative of the commission is that goes to Sacramento is limited probably to the city's legislative platform. But can the commission give any direction to that individual to? I haven't looked fully at our legislative platform, but if there were certain areas that the commission wanted the individual to focus on, is it appropriate for us to say, can you please focus on these 3 bills or this overall encompassing legislative policy, such as protecting rent control or expanding rent control, something like that? Is that appropriate?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I would suggest that whoever we send, and I would suggest maybe we just take volunteers first. I feel like I personally get an opportunity to do a lot of this outside of the specific date. So I don't feel an obligation, or I don't feel like a need that I have to be the person. So I would suggest we find out whoever is available and interested. And then maybe we talk about, some broader concepts within the platform that we would like them to focus on. Thank you.
No, I appreciate that. And I wanted to throw it to you first, Commissioner Kerpes, because I knew this is what you do day in and day out for a living. So I think that's great feedback. I'm not sure we're permitted to talk about the topics at this meeting, but I think that's a really good point to hone in on once this designee gets selected. So then with that, I guess I'll throw it open for any volunteers. The date is February 5th, correct?
Correct.
And this is an all-day event.
That's correct.
You meet at the Burbank Airport in the morning, you fly up, and you come back the same day, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And all the boards and commissions are doing it, so I see Christine raising her hand. I don't know if you want to weigh in or give us a little more insight. That'd be awesome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So I did attend the Legislative Action Day about 2 years ago when the city hosted the first one. And the way that the day ran and is intended to be operated again this year is an early morning flight from Burbank. There'll be a group of the board members and commissioners will transport together over to the Capitol. We have one of our lobbyists has reserved a conference room for us, and we will have speakers from various agencies, from our lobbyists themselves, and we will have some of our elected representatives come and speak with us throughout the day. They'll talk about the legislative process, they'll talk about the city's position on certain bills, and then they will ask questions of the group. What are your priorities? What are the things that you're doing? Where do you see areas for us to, work or tell stories, or what is it that is your priority? And so there's a lot of opportunity for conversation and sharing information through storytelling, as well as to go to the floor if there are any hearings in session and provide testimony. So there's a couple of different things that may happen depending on what's going on that day, but that's the general overview. And it was a very meaningful and educational experience for the board members who are able to attend, and it was requested that it be extended to the commissioners as well.
Awesome. That's great. Okay. Well, does anyone want to throw their hand up? And would you be interested, Vice Chair?
Yeah, I would be interested.
Okay. Um, that makes great sense. I think I'm also interested, so we can, do you want to go and I can be the delegate or vice versa?
I'm interested in going.
Go. Okay, and I'll be your backup in case anything comes up, and you can just give me well, I'll volunteer to be your backup. And I'm seeing smiles up and down the dais, and Commissioner Kirby's nodding, so I think that's good feedback. Why don't we make a motion to nominate vice chair as our first delegate and the chair as our second delegate. And,
So moved.
And we have a second, and we'll do a roll call.
Second.
Okay, we have 2 seconds, and we'll do a quick roll call on that.
Commissioner Bass?
Aye.
Commissioner Copeland?
Aye.
Commissioner Kerpes?
Aye.
Commissioner McCafferty?
Aye.
Commissioner Topchin?
Aye.
Vice Chair Goldman?
Aye.
And Chair Rory?
Aye. All right, fantastic. So we got that one squared. Now we're going to move on to Commissioner Kirby. You're raising your hand.
Yes, so just to follow up on the kind of the conversation we just had, would it be possible to maybe for the next agenda, if people wanted to bring ideas based upon our legislative platform with the city to maybe emphasize or
I'm
bring a
open to
focus
that.
on-
I'm open to that. I don't know if the staff is able to accommodate that.
What is the request? I'm sorry, I
For
wasn't following.
for our next meeting, which likely would be in January, whether we could have a pre-discussion about rent stabilization topics and maybe bills that are pending that we would like this commission to emphasize, or I don't know.
Like maybe if Hernan could bring,
Yeah.
just provide you as staff with the current, at that time, whatever the current platform is for the city, so that we stay within those guidelines.
Sure, I will speak to Hernan and see if he can give us a presentation at our January meeting.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be a presentation, I don't think. It can just be a discussion amongst ourselves within those topics of whatever our platform is at that time.
What I mean by presentation is he can bring whatever topics
Oh.
are related to rent stabilization, so then the discussion can happen while he's here.
Okay.
However you want to do it. I'm also open to the idea if he's busy and wants to email or send us written materials for us to discuss, and that's easier for him. I'm open to that as well. I think maybe Commissioner Kirby
Likewise. Yeah, I'm
was
with you, Chair.
suggesting that. It doesn't have to be in person. But we'll be excited to go up there in February.
Sure.
Or a month later. Okay. Thank you for that. Let's move on to item 9B, which is our meeting schedule. And staff already has kind of previewed the idea that our next regular scheduled meeting we could potentially have in January, and staff can give us a report on why that probably makes sense.
So the Rent Stabilization Commission is being asked to review and confirm its regular meeting dates for the 2026 calendar year. To support proactive communication and avoid quorum issues, the Commission typically meets on the second and fourth Thursday of each month, except when a meeting falls on a city holiday, in which case it is automatically canceled. While the Commission may recommend its 2026 meeting schedule, any proposed special meetings or cancellations will require staff review for feasibility and impact. The exhibit that you have with the staff report indicates the meetings that would have been scheduled for 2026. Some of those meetings include our regular topics that we cover during that time of the year. There are 2 canceled meetings that were not listed on there because obviously they're canceled, but that would be the November 26th meeting, which falls on Thanksgiving Day, and the December 24th, 2026 meeting, which falls on Christmas Eve.
All right, so basically to summarize, Commissioner, I don't know if Kirby's, if you were raising your hand there, but to summarize, what I understand is that we have a December 11th meeting scheduled, but it abuts against a staff appreciation event. And so the question before us is, do we make special requests to have reschedule our December 11th meeting to December 18th, which would require some additional work? It does butt up against the year-end holidays. Or do we as a group say, you know what, we're okay with not having a December meeting. We're going to go to the next regularly scheduled meeting, which would be in January. And my strong suggestion is that we go to the January meeting, and we've done this in the past. This is not the first December that this commission has done that. But Commissioner Kerpes, please, I saw you raising your hand.
I did. Yeah, I had a question. I bet it's not related to what you're talking about. I was going to. I didn't. I'm fine with whatever you and staff want to do with the December of this year's meeting. My question was going to be, since we often throughout the year have to cancel at least one meeting, sometimes more than that. I was going to make a suggestion or make a request, and we can do it or not. But it's kind of. I've always missed the May 28th meeting. It's always the meeting right before Memorial Day weekend, and I just wanted to throw out there, since we always miss at least one meeting throughout the year, it doesn't necessarily mean it's in May, but could we cancel the May 28th meeting in advance? And that was going to be my request.
Okay, I think that the item agendized for tonight had to do with the. Oh, I guess you're right. It's the 2026 schedule. I would be open, Commissioner Kerpes, if it's okay to address that a little bit more in 2026. I will make a note of it right now, and I will make it a prerogative to follow up with that, a priority to follow up with that, and see if May can also be one of our canceled dates. But I would ask in November that we delay that decision until a little bit closer to 2026.
Chair, if I may, the item before you is to do exactly that, to set the calendar ahead of time so that staff can plan the whole year out. So if you don't want to cancel it now, fully your prerogative, but the item before you is to set the whole 2026 calendar, including any cancellations that you see fit.
Okay. I'm open to canceling it now. I just kind of wanted to wait and see a little bit closer to the meeting date. But if people are comfortable just canceling it now, that's fine too. What are people thinking? You want to just cancel it now? What do you think, Commissioner Topchin?
We're talking about this one day, May 28th. It's because Commissioner Kerpes cannot be present.
Not just because of that, but yes, that is a side part of it.
It's also right before the holiday.
I
so
see.
I-
All right. So.
Okay, it is right there. Okay, all right. So I'm seeing nods. So let's do a motion to to table our December 2025 meeting to our next regularly scheduled meeting in January. And in addition, to incorporate Commissioner Kerpes' request that the May 28th, 2026 meeting also be canceled. That's the motion on the table.
I'll second it.
I'll second. Oh.
All right, we got a motion and a second, and we'll do a roll call.
Commissioner Bass,
Aye.
Commissioner Copeland,
Aye.
Commissioner Kerpes,
Aye.
Commissioner McCafferty,
Aye.
Commissioner Topchin,
Aye.
Vice Chair Goldman,
Aye.
Chair Rory.
Aye. All right, great. So that passes. And we have our schedule situated for the time being. Now we get to move on to the unfinished business. This is the update on the valuation guidelines by the ad hoc committee. And this is really an update item. We're not doing a discussion this evening. So Vice Chair is going to give the update. And then if we have questions or feedback, without straying into discussion, we can do that after the report.
Thank you, Chair. So the Evaluation Guidelines Ad Hoc Subcommittee has been, we've had several meetings, and we have been doing research, and that includes exploring how sister cities handle the valuation guidelines and any new items that we're going to add based on other cities and then things that we've seen in previous cases. And then we have also been researching the market value of various items. So our 6-month period ends in February, and while we're making good progress, there's a lot to consider. So we will ask for an extension if needed, if we think that we're not going to meet that 6-month deadline.
If I can ask Vice Chair, if you can specify the cities that you looked into to compare which rent-controlled cities?
Yeah, so we looked at Santa Monica, which is the closest to us, and then Berkeley and San Francisco, and LA.
Thank you.
And I guess if there is an extension, it would be for a couple more months, but we're going to have a report, I would think, before the middle of the summer when the next announcement is due, right?
I might defer to staff, actually, if we do. I guess it would happen because it ends in February, so we would probably before, maybe at the second January meeting, I guess we would have another brief update on if we're gonna be complete in February, and then staff, you would probably put that on the agenda if we are indeed complete February. That would be an agenda item to bring to commission. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the idea is once we collect everything that the ad hoc committee has put together as part of their research and the proposal, then staff will vet it through by just confirming all the information and how we are coming up with some of these increased ranges or additional items that we're doing to the list. And then we would bring that to the commission for recommendation on the proposal.
Okay, that sounds good. Are there any other follow-up questions? All right, so that's a receive and file, I think, report. That's great news, and we look forward in the new year to kind of hearing the update. And so we can move on from that point to items from staff. This is just general items, category 11 on our agenda.
We don't have any items.
We covered a lot tonight.
But we're very grateful for the cancellation of December 11th. Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Oh, well, thank you for all your, work all year long. And if it means you guys have a little more fun that night, please enjoy. All right, so we get to move on to public comment. Do we have anyone registered? I don't think so.
No public comment.
Okay, so we can do items from commissioners. Commissioner McCafferty, I'm going to kick it down if you have anything. No? Commissioner Bass?
Yeah, I didn't speak on the calendar item, but yeah, I'm very grateful for our staff. And so since we won't see you before that event, just thank you very much for the work you do. And I'm glad that you get to go be appreciated as opposed to being here with us, where hopefully we appreciate you, but it'll be a little bit more fun there. And also congratulations to our chair for handling an interesting appeal tonight. I appreciate how you just kind of grabbed that and was able to solve it without us having to go down the road of an unnecessary appeal. So thank you.
No problem. I'll just keep going and then go down the line if that's okay. I was going to mention two things. One was our commission liaison appointments, which we tried to do at the beginning. I'm going to do a friendly reminder to everyone as we get into the second half of the calendar. I just did mine for the Business License Commission last night because they haven't been meeting, and I've been looking to try to introduce myself. And I finally went, and I was kind of thinking, well, you know, what's going to come of this? Is there really going to be any reason for the overlap? But what I will say is that there was a purpose in just being interconnected with other advisory boards and commissions, which in and of itself was a value. And so I think maybe one of the reasons why the staff suggests the liaisons is not because there's going to be some light bulb that comes off and all of a sudden they're going to realize, oh, we have an overlapping issue. Let's, you know, coordinate on that, which would already naturally happen. It's almost more to kind of nudge different commissioners out of their comfort zone into another commission or board that maybe they're not as used to, but they're interested in. And, you know, it took me 2 minutes during the public comment to just introduce myself, and they seem to appreciate it. So I'm going to make another plug for the second half of my chairship that we try to each go to one other meeting consistent with what we signed up for and introduce ourselves, and that in and of itself will serve a purpose, I think. And the second thing I was going to mention was just something that's kind of been in the news lately, but it was of interest to me. There's been a lot of news about the city of LA making amendments to its cap on the annual adjustment for rent-controlled units. And I just thought it was interesting to see how their formula could result in a different range of adjustments. And they took effort to try to bring that range within a reason that they thought would be more appropriate at a 4% cap, as I'm understanding it. And so that inspired me to go back to our historic adjustments. And this year for 2025, we're at 2.5. And I was looking down the line, going back a solid 20 years, I apparently don't have the issue that the city of LA does, because our adjustments for the most part, not every year, but for the most part, have been a much more moderate range. And I just thought that was really interesting, and I was proud of our city for having the model that it has. And obviously every year can have a little twist. There was one 6% year, but that was kind of stayed because of the pandemic. But otherwise, we're historically under 4% for the last 20 plus years, which is the cap that the city of LA recently adopted. And I thought that was kind of cool and spoke well of how much the city is on top of it. And I'm not hearing, you know, requests to adjust that range. And so we're kind of ahead of it. I thought that was kind of unique, and I wanted to make a plug for us for doing that. All right, and then I'm going to continue down to Vice Chair.
Thank you, Chair. I wanted to mention that I attended the Community Provider Open House and Volunteer Fair. It was really wonderful to see how many organizations are and opportunities are available in the city to help residents. And so I just wanted to give a shout out to staff and all the different organizations that put in that work to help the community, because this is such a unique city, and it was a really wonderful event to attend. And they all love Charlie the dog, so it's another thing I love about this city. They let me bring my little dog everywhere. And then because we won't be meeting, I want to really thank staff and my colleagues. This has been a really wonderful year working with all of you. And so just to say that I appreciate you all. I've learned a lot. And I guess we'll see you next year then.
Happy New Year. Commissioner Topchin.
Thank you, Chair. Just quickly, since we're not going to have a meeting in December, thank you, staff, for your hard work. You've been always patient, and you've been there for us, and it's much appreciated and acknowledged. Other than that, that's it. Happy. Thank you.
Commissioner Copeland.
Thank you, Chair. I want to echo the sentiments about thanking staff for all of their help and all of their hard work this year, and very much appreciated. And don't think we take you for granted because we do appreciate you. I wanted to wish everyone happy and safe holidays, whatever they celebrate, and for the coming couple of months. And also, to Chair's point, I did attend the Historic Preservation Commission meeting and introduced myself and sort of gave them a little recap of what the commission has been doing recently. And of course, invited them to keep an eye on our agendas in case anything interests them. So thank you for that reminder.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that you did that.
Take care.
And Commissioner Kirby, I wanted to make sure you had an opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to thank, I was going to thank specifically Secretary Hernandez and Legal Counsel Martz for their assistance this evening, and all of you as my colleagues to accommodating me this evening, so I really appreciate it. And I'll just expand that, as you all did, to thanking staff for an entire year of great work, and hopefully everyone has happy holidays. Thank you.
Yeah, likewise. Okay. The next meeting is January 8th? Okay. So with that, we're going to adjourn this meeting to the next regularly scheduled meeting of the Rent Stabilization Commission to be held on January 8th, 2026 in West Hollywood Public Meeting Room, Council Chambers. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.